Let's Talk BL Boys Love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are talking about a very timely
Yes,
subject
I'm excited.
because this has been something that is happening nonstop lately. Like weekends
Yeah.
are doubled up. Like we are all triple booked
Yes.
because the powers that be in the BL world were like, you know, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
What if we just live stream
Everything. Actually, what if we come out of the chaos and book these boys every single day of the week?
Every single day of the week. So we today are talking about live streamed fan meetings, concerts, what have you.
excited.
All of these like events that typically back in the day,
Yeah.
you would only be able to attend in person. There is now for every single one of these concerts, fan meetings, celebrations, a live stream ticket option, which is often much cheaper, comes with some different perks.
Yeah.
So the question is this worth it? We're going to talk about our experiences because we have done many of these as a professional fangirl. I've been doing this since like early days COVID live streaming ridiculousness.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
I am too. We've had a variety of experiences thus far, starting from our K-pop days.
Yes.
Even before we got into the BL stuff.
Yes.
We had vast experience with K-pop online content, online streaming, online interactions, I guess you would say. Because I will say, even if you don't love any of the online stuff, you just feel like it's far removed, maybe you feel like it's not the same as being there, it gives you access when otherwise you'd have no access.
I think it depends on the kind of person you are.
Totally.
So, I mean, let's jump right into it. And like, let's just start with the number one, like, so that the people know.
Yes.
Are you into live stream stuff?
I love live streams. I remember the first live stream that I watched was a Baekhyun concert, and it wasn't even his concert. It was a festival, so he only sang like 2 songs, and it was during the pandemic in like the heart of lockdown, and I just remember being so excited. So maybe that was part of it, the fact that like I had no content, no like there was nothing new, and I was a new fan of his. And so the fact that like I got to see him perform live, because I'm that person when we get to a place, or if an artist comes to town, I'm excited that I'm breathing the same air as them.
Yeah, see, and that's why it's interesting that you were like, oh, I like the live stream stuff, when you're like, I'm excited about breathing the same air, because I do not like live stream concerts, specifically concerts, especially fan meetings, things like that. We're going to get into, I have a whole rant about the merits, the pros and cons. Okay. But yeah, I'm not a live stream person because I have attended concerts kind of my whole life. Like my joke during the pandemic when it hit was that my 2 hobbies were traveling and going to concerts, which are the 2 things you absolutely could not do during the pandemic.
Right.
And so I was like, what do I even do with my life?
Yeah, because I've never been a concert person until I got into K-pop.
Yeah, and see, I've been when I say I'm a professional fangirl, let me tell you, this started early days for me. Like I was a young kid going to concerts. My parents are super, super supportive and would like drive us to different states to see our favorite band. And like my dad arranged it at one point where we were like staying in the same hotel as our favorite band because he's like a sneaky little geek. So like I just have always attended concerts like live and in person because I have always loved music. And so I have always like wanted to be there. And for me, part of the it's not just about seeing it. I can see anything on the screen.
Right.
It's about being there. It's about the energy that's there. It's about the experience of, like you could look in that person's eyes, right? Like there's so much more to these fan meetings and these concerts and these experiences than just watching it happen, because you can watch anything happen.
Right.
So for me, I'm not a live stream person. If I have the choice, if I have an opportunity to choose between in person or live stream, I'm always going to choose in person.
Right.
And if it's not someone that I'm specifically
like
interested in,
about?
or
Yeah.
not interested in, but like there are only certain people that I would buy a live stream ticket for,
Right.
even now,
Yeah,
even with BL boys, and I love so many boys, but
Yeah.
there's only like a certain like subset of boys that I'm like, yeah, that's worth the money for me, even
Right.
if it's cheap.
Well, it's for me because I'm not like a diehard concert goer. I'm of the mindset where I'm just enjoying the experience however I get it. So I don't I don't need to be there because unless you're on the floor of concerts, a lot of times you are watching a screen, right? Because they're so far away and like there's a lot going on. So sometimes like you do end up just watching a screen sometimes at concerts. Like you don't get the same like vibe of like you're surrounded by fans and like the vibe of actually
And
attending.
like the energy and like the
So
person's voice and the echo.
Right.
It's such a different experience.
So I view it as two very separate entities, whereas like I otherwise wouldn't have any type of access to this experience. At least I'm getting like a taste of it, but it's not replacing it for sure.
Right.
Like
So
you can't do one or the other. If you can do both, do both.
We have two very different opinions about live
Fully.
streams. Like my opinion is it's almost never worth it.
And so the KCON that I did, which had the Zoom screen, which a lot of people are doing that.
Right.
That was a fun experience because you see yourself on screen with the boys and like you're on stage, which is a thing that would like not ever happen.
And specifically with KCON, they could see you.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, and it was big enough, and they showed that it was big enough that they could see you, because I wasn't on the Zoom, but I like watched it live.
Yeah.
And like I could see you on the screen.
Yeah.
And so we had a similar experience with Max Tool.
Yes.
So we did the Max Tool,
which was so fun,
fan meeting, the Japanese one.
Right.
And it was crazy. It was like the most fun I'd ever. It was the only live stream thing that I ever was like, this was awesome.
Because it felt like an intimate Zoom.
It was, I mean, we were on Zoom.
Yeah.
We were on Zoom, and
we were one of many, but yeah.
But you saw the pictures,
Yeah.
and you saw that like the screens were big enough that they could actually see us.
Yeah.
And so like as much as like I talk about like there's like an energy to these kinds of events, and that's what I like is the energy and the feeling.
Right.
I feel like that Max Tool Japanese fan meeting, that very much like did a good job of replicating that energy online. And I don't think everybody does, because I have also attended online concerts and online fan meetings that did not, I mean, K-pop, in the K-pop world, that did not do that well at all. And so
do you think it was partly
super hit or miss?
Yeah. Do you think it was partly too because we did it together?
No,
like
because we were still
alone.
separate.
Yeah, but like we could talk to each other. Otherwise, you'd just be sitting there.
No, I
think
because of the nature of that Max Tool one, and because of the nature of Max Tool.
Yeah, they're just magic.
Right? Like the nature of Max Tool is that they
make you feel like you're their best friend.
They replicated that energy.
Yeah.
They did. And so it was like,
fun.
It was the only time I've ever felt like this was perfect, this was right, this was like this was the thing that I wanted it to be,
right?
And it was just as good as if I had done it in person.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so I think it takes a specific kind of artist to be able to create that.
Right.
Max Tool is two of those people.
I think the other thing too now, so the experiences that I have had with online fan meetings, a lot of them were just the artist in the room and not too many live streams of an event where there were people. And I think that's what feels maybe a little bit off sometimes, is because you know that there are people in person able to experience that concert experience, whereas like you're just watching it online. And so for example, when I watched the Baekhyun concert, it was magic and wonderful because I knew everybody else was having the same experience as me at home, not there. Whereas like the Jumundi fan meeting, they just live streamed the concert as it was happening, and there's a huge audience, and you're like, I want to be them.
Yeah. So like my experience with that specific scenario is fully K-pop, because so I did one KCON, right, for Pentagon, who's my alt group.
Right.
And everybody was having the same experience, right? Everybody was at home. Everybody's locked down. It was like height of the pandemic.
Right.
They weren't in front of people. And so that still, it wasn't, and maybe it's because I had seen Pentagon in person before. Maybe that's why.
No. We had not just seen Pentagon in person. We had followed them around the United States. We had interacted with them.
We went to multiple
3
cities
days.
for multiple concerts. We
touched
had high
them
touch at every
multiple
single
times.
one.
They said, "See you next time." And we said, "No, you won't."
We were in the front row every single time.
Yeah.
So it was like a very
Right.
different experience.
Do you think it would be different if it wasn't Pentagon, though?
Right. That's what I'm saying is like maybe let's say
Yeah.
it wasn't a group that I knew the experience of, but I don't think so because I love concerts so much. And I just
Interesting.
know what the concert experience truly is and truly should be,
Yeah.
that this is never going to be for me close enough, even just watch it, because I could sit around my house and watch YouTube all day, which I do.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, why am I going to pay an extra $30?
Right.
Like to watch it live?
People talked about this with the movie version of Hamilton when they put the stage production on Disney Plus, and a lot of people didn't get to watch Hamilton on stage or watch live theater, and that's the conversation that gets had a lot of times with recording theater. With you can't get that same experience. Like you have to be in a theater to experience that whole like magic and feeling. And so
and that's what I mean by it takes a certain kind of artist, but it also takes a certain kind of fan to enjoy this, because you love these because you're not a concert goer, versus I watch recorded theater all the time because I'm not like a theater nerd. Right. Like I like musical theater. I listen to the soundtracks. I watch it recorded, but honestly, like I don't really care if I go to see it in person or not. Like theater is not my thing. Right. So for me, the recorded is just as good, versus you're a theater nerd. So for you, it's probably not as good. So like it takes a certain kind of fan. And as a professional fangirl that has like always gone the extra mile to make sure that I had the access that I wanted, you know, that was available to me. Right. For these people that I was fanning over. It's just not good enough.
The same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not the same, but there's definitely perks to these online fan meetings, and they all offer different things. So should we get into like the nuts and bolts of the logistics of this?
Let's talk about the logistics, because despite all of this, you love them. I don't love them. We have done them. I say I don't like them. I continue to do them. So like, I don't know. Take away from that what you will.
We sat through a fully unsubbed combo.
I sit through fully unsubbed everything all the time. Literally today, I watched a like 17-minute unsubbed Atlas video. Watched all 17 minutes. Did it twice. So like the subs, that's not something that I think logistically non-Thai speaking or non-Korean speaking or non-Chinese speaking fans should worry about. Right. Because if you are at the point that you're enough of a fan of these people to be buying live stream tickets or even considering buying live stream tickets, the subs are not going to like detract or add for you. Right. It's not going to make it or break it for you. It's nice to have. Right. But it's not going to kill it for you at all.
A lot of these platforms are making live subs available, which is really nice.
Yeah. And so I remember I did I did a virtual concert for BTS. And
I don't think I knew this.
They had live subs. It was for Festa. I did the BTS Festa live. I have an Army membership. I am actually like a current card carrying Army member. And so I did the live stream for Festa because I heard so Love Maze is my favorite BTS song, and it was the year that they performed Love Maze for like the first time ever, and I was like, in that case, I was like, I'm watching this. I need to, and it was less about that I needed to watch it live and more about, for me, I was like, I need to watch this as soon as it happens. I can't wait the extra, like, I can't wait for it to hear, like, I need to watch it as soon as it happens.
Maybe that's the key. Like, if you love concerts and you're not a big online fan, like the watching it when it happens, like you're not waiting for someone.
I was like, I'm not willing to wait for Love Maze. Basically, Love Maze has always been my favorite BTS song, and
That's
so
fun.
so I did Festa, and they had live subs because I mean it's BTS, like
Yeah.
come on. And the live subs were really cool, but again, I've done it both ways, and I think as a fan, I don't think it's something you should think about too hard, I guess is what I'll say.
No.
If they have them, awesome. If they don't, you're going to be fine.
You'll still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Fully. So they're available on a lot of different platforms. In Thailand, most often it's through Thai Ticketmaster or Official MyFun. They both have
let's talk about
Instagram
Thailand specifically, because this is where all these double, triple bookings are happening for BL fans.
Yeah, this weekend alone, we have like 2 or 3 happening.
We have the Kim Porsche World Tour coming up. You've got Z Nunus, you've got Nunus, you've got War's birthday thing.
Yep.
There's so much coming up.
Yeah.
You also have later on Raikan Concert.
Yep.
So you've got the Raikan FanCon.
There's so much going on.
There's so much happening, and those are just to name a few.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Thailand specifically. Thailand is I'm going to put this disclaimer in that Thailand is not the only place that's doing live stream meetings. We know, for example.
No, we can talk about Korea next.
Right, Korea. They're just like, if you're listening, will be less discussion around Korea because there's just the majority of this stuff is happening in Thailand right now for BL fans.
Actually, no, because Hello Live, which is the platform that brought Cutie Pie to Korea, they have fan meetings almost weekly because they're doing a backlog. They're doing
BL.
Yes, so they're doing Mr. Heart. They're about to do Mr. Heart. Oh, they're doing all of the fan meetings for Cherry Blossoms After Winter. They just did Cutie Pie, but yeah, they're consistently doing BL fan meetings that because they backlogged. Because I think with I don't really know what spurred it in them to start doing these, but yeah, they've started really.
I think what spurred it in them is that
there's money.
There's money in it, and they realize that it's actually not that hard to put together since the pandemic. Yeah. So let's start with Thailand.
Yeah.
Thai Ticketmaster. Let's talk about Thai Ticketmaster.
Thai Ticketmaster is interesting because you get merch there.
You can buy merch. I have purchased merch off of Thai Ticketmaster.
Yes. Very struggled so hard to get those dang t-shirts off of Thai Ticketmaster.
Oh, not for me.
For me.
You can buy merch there. You can buy real live tickets. May or may not have done that.
Well, you can't hold it.
You can also buy live stream tickets on Thai Ticketmaster. You can do so much on Thai Ticketmaster if you can get your credit card to work.
Yes. International purchases are just quite the experience.
Here's what we've learned. If you're in the United States of America, here's what banks will not work on Thai Ticketmaster.
Literally one.
Because we have tried them all, or we have tried a lot of them.
3 of them.
So I tried a Bank of America card too at one point, and I tried my Amex.
Oh my god. Well, it doesn't accept Amex because I have Amex.
Yeah, so no Amex. They don't accept Amex. No. Wells Fargo is a no-go.
No.
Bank of America, no-go.
No.
Capital One, no-go.
No. Credit card.
Chase,
Capital
however.
One, credit card. Yeah.
Chase, however.
They're like,
Chase will work. However, only your Chase debit card.
Yeah.
So, if you have a JP Morgan Chase bank account, you can purchase. Congratulations, you can purchase things from Thai Ticketmaster. Honestly, it's a struggle and it sucks. And here's the deal:
is that a MasterCard or a Visa?
It's a Visa.
Okay.
Here's the deal, but this is why I say only the debit version works, because I've tried to run my card as a credit, and I have a Chase credit card, and I tried that.
Didn't work.
No, because JP Morgan Chase credit and JP Morgan Chase debit are listed as 2 different banks. Yeah. I think it's probably different routing numbers. And the credit cards, no.
Yeah.
The debit card, yes.
Meanwhile, in Thailand, you have 10 options of how you can give them money, whereas internationally, of course, there's only credit cards or debit cards.
Right. So I will say, if you do have a Chase account, don't give up, because it's going to reject the first time. It's going to be declined the first time. You have to go in and approve on the text message they send you. Make sure your phone number is up to date.
Yeah.
and then it's going to reject the second time. You have to go in and approve the email that they send you, and then run it a third time, and it'll go through. You're good.
But that's
You'll get the things you need.
But that's only on the first one, because we had bought tickets to something, and then the next day I borrowed your card to buy the new tickets, and it went through fine. It never texted you, remember? You were
No,
like,
yeah, but
"Oh."
it was less than 24 hours later.
Yeah.
That was less than 24 hours later.
Right.
So basically,
you
the
have a
bank had
24-hour
already like,
window.
yeah, once you approve, buy all the things you want in 24 hours.
I know. And it's interesting because, like, on my Wells Fargo, I had turned on international purchases, but there was a failed authentication on the Thai site. It didn't even go through to the bank.
Oh yeah,
to
I even
approve it.
sat there on the phone with
Right.
Capital One, and I was like, okay. Girl, and this woman, she was so helpful. She was so cute. I was like, okay, girl, I'm gonna hit process now. And she's like, okay, do it. She's like, I'll stay on the phone with you. Because I explained to her that, like, I have been trying this like over and over again. And I hit it, and it never even hit the Capital One side of things to decline. So it's definitely like on the Thai side of things.
I will say Thai Ticket Major customer service is excellent, and they get back to you quickly. Because when I was trying to buy these up shirts, I
ended up buying.
Yes, I emailed them because I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to use my card on your site. It's not working." And they were like, "I don't know what your problem is."
Yeah.
I mean, they were quick to respond. They weren't very helpful, but
so the answer is have JP Morgan Chase Bank or another bank that we don't know of.
I know. Tell us if your bank is approved.
Did we ever try our business bank account? I don't think we ever tried that card. So let's talk BL in case you're wondering, is an LLC. We're official.
We're official. We should have held up our like form.
No, I mean, it's because we sell merch.
Yeah.
So we do have a business bank account, but it's an internet bank. And so I wonder if that would have worked better. Next time something goes on sale on Thai Ticket Major, we should try it. I can try it for these war tickets I'm trying to buy that I can't buy.
I think it has to be a Visa or MasterCard. Is it?
Yeah, it's a MasterCard.
Oh, well, then there you go.
Yeah.
Do the thing. Yeah.
We'll shoot an update. We'll let you know.
So yeah, Thai Ticket Major has quite a bit of offerings, but then there's also Official My Fun, which does it's now doing the Zinunu one for this weekend.
Right.
It did the Kauna Turbo one that I did. That big circus event that You're My Sky did this year is put on by Official My Fun. My Fun Official. I think it's My Fun Official.
Sure.
So that's another one. I had no issue with buying through their. It's
cards.
just a website,
right? So what was the platform like for? Because I remember it was we streamed it to the TV.
Yes.
So that is a plus. That's something good to know for Official My Fun is you can stream.
It's their website.
The meeting. To your television.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's what I always like to do if I'm going to get, like, I don't want to watch it on my laptop. I don't want to watch it. Like, I'd rather stream it. I have a big TV in my house. I'd rather watch it on the big TV.
Yeah. A lot of these I have not done a streaming through Thai Ticket Major, but I'm assuming that, like, for example, if you have Google Chrome, you can cast from Chrome to your Chromecast.
If you have a Chromecast, right.
Apple TV sometimes gets a little funny.
But that doesn't always work because the Wii TV was not working this past weekend for Love Mechanics, the Chrome extension. So, like, it doesn't always work.
Interesting. I wonder if it would have worked through desktop.
Well, I mean, like, I tried it on my lap. Like, I used it on my laptop.
I see. Because we had issue one week with iQIYI,
but iQIYI was going down for the past couple, the last two eps of
the power of Kim Porsche.
Kim Porsche, was bad, but so that's a plus.
Yeah,
for Official My Fun, and the fact that, like, the credit card situation, like, as an international fan, you can pretty much purchase and be good to go.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
So
the War fan meeting is on a very different platform.
It's on a different platform. It's called theconcert.com.
They have an app.
It's Thai.
It's the first one that has an app. You can get it.
It's Thai. I cannot buy tickets. I don't know what to do. I want this live stream ticket because, again, like I said, there's a very small echelon of boys.
If my credit card worked for your thing and your credit card worked for mine.
Oh my God. So there's a very small echelon of boys that I'm like, listen, because let's be honest, What you're really doing when you're buying this ticket is you're gambling on the fact that you might get a fan call.
Yes.
You might get a video call.
Right.
So right after this, we can talk about the merits of video calls.
Perfect.
Because I have thoughts. I have done many.
And I will scream about Count a Turbo for 50 minutes.
War is one of those people that I'm willing to take the $30 gamble on, but I can't buy the tickets.
I mean,
it was easy to sign up. They have a good English version of their site.
Yeah.
All seemed well. I put in all my info. No, they don't want my money. I don't know why.
I mean, here's the thing. The price of the live stream ticket is well below any price you'd pay for a K-pop video call.
Oh, accurate.
So
we don't want to talk about how much I ended up paying for my K-pop video calls. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that? So somebody posted, I think it was for a Brightwin event, what the price points were, because in K-pop it's all very secretive. You have no clue how much people pay for how many albums they buy.
So okay, if you're not a K-pop fan, let's break down how that actually works. So in K-pop, for both in-person fan meetings and the virtual video calls, the way they do it is it's basically a top spender situation. Yeah. So it's a top spender
through
situation.
A music store, right? It's through who sells the album.
Right. So whether that be like an online platform, right? So like K-Town for You will host them sometimes. That they're online only, right? Or if you're in Korea, there are like actual physical brick and mortar stores that you can go to and like purchase these albums from. And so it's a top spender situation. And the deal is,
Side note, hold on. I just remembered, this is so off topic and the most ridiculous story ever, guys. Hold on. You're going to die. So it had to have been 20 years ago. I have always been obsessed with Volkswagens. I now own my third Volkswagen, but I used to be obsessed with Volkswagen Beetles. And oh my God, like 20 years ago, Tickle Me Elmo did a promotion where if you buy a Tickle Me Elmo, you potentially won a red Volkswagen Bug. And so the caveat was you had to go buy a Tickle Me Elmo. And so I as a teenager, maybe in my 20s, as a teenager, I think I was a teenager, I went and bought a Tickle Me Elmo.
I mean, if it was 20 years ago, I actually would have been the right age for a Tickle Me Elmo. So there's that.
I did not win a red Volkswagen Bug, but somebody out there did. But I was doing this before because I was trying to think through, like, do we have stuff like this in the States? And we definitely do.
Oh yeah.
It's not concert related.
But with the K-pop thing, it's a lot crazier. So it's a top spender situation. The deal is
there's not a number.
There's not a number, which makes sense because they want
you to buy all the things.
They want all your money, right? Like, fair enough. Yeah. Sure, fair game. I feel you. Capitalism. Sure, whatever.
I will literally give you all my money, and they're like, yes.
I literally did give them all my money, and it worked for me. But so there are a lot of
idea what that like low threshold.
It is also very secretive because if you're doing it through like a brick and mortar store in Korea, they actually give preference to Korean fans, like Korean like fans with Korean IDs will get, even if they spend the same amount as a foreign fan, a higher preference in the draw.
Oh yeah.
Which is why as K-pop fans, once the prevalence of these online meetings started happening and these online video call chances, they were specifically set up for foreign fans. So it was more of an even playing field.
Yeah.
But yes, you do not know what the threshold is. And there's a lot of conversation. Like, you could go on Twitter and you can be like, how much are you spending? How much are you spending? Right. And so you can figure out how many albums you have to buy.
Do people share that information?
Some people do, some people don't. Yeah. Some so like group order managers will say like, hey, FYI, I'm using this group order so that I can potentially get this video call. And so then you know how many orders they get, right? Because it's a public group order. Yeah. But a lot of people like me, I didn't do it as a group order. I was like, I'm going to get these albums. I'm going to figure out something to do with them.
But that's what I love about Thailand. So K-pop albums, like, sure, if there's 7 versions of an album, like, great, you're gonna have all 7 versions.
In my case, there were only 2 versions of the album.
Yeah,
I ended up with boxes and boxes and boxes of this album. It was fully worth it. I won my video call.
Yes. But so in Thailand, what's nice for 2 reasons is that a lot of times you're buying actual things that you would actually use.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, it's like a box of Voss water or like chips.
Chips. I've seen chips, Tao Kanoi.
And so what's interesting for this Brightwind thing is they posted how much people spent.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the top 2 people spent like over $1,000, like between 1,000 and 2,000. And then the like next 10, because I think there were maybe like 15 people.
Usually it's like, like 15, 20 people that end up.
So it was like the top people were like 2,000 to 3,000. The rest of them were like $500. It was like a significant jump down. Like you could tell those fans were like, I'm gonna get on that boat. I think it was like one of those like boat trips or bus trips.
Like that's what I
like,
did
props.
with my Pentagon. I was like, I spent an absurd amount of money. I'm not going to tell you the number, but I spent an absurd amount of like.
And you enjoyed all.
Oh, it was worth
every
single dollar I spent. 100%. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
She video recorded it and sent them all to me, which I then proceeded to mix tile every photo of every member, and now she has them on the wall.
No, but so yeah, I mean it's very interesting, the video call situation. Yes.
So that's just one of the many perks when you buy the online streaming. It's not just to watch the concert. You do get the potential for
you get entered into a random draw. Usually it's 100. Usually it's somewhere between like 20, 50, 100, right? Random draw of like people that are in the live stream will get a video call. Right. Here's how the video calls work, if you're wondering. We've all seen the clips on Twitter. You know it's like on your phone.
Yeah.
I have done video calls.
They're so stressful.
With people that I do not speak the same language as them.
Yeah.
Also done video calls with idols that happen to speak English, very luckily, whatever, right? Yeah. There are lots of upsides and lots of downsides to a video call.
I'm so stressed out.
Let's talk about, and so you've also done this specifically with BL Boys, although Yan and Honk are BL Boys now, so mine were technically kind of with BL Boys too.
I love that.
But so you won the video call with Counter Turbo.
Y'all, I had no chill.
I watched it from like across the room. Like I was like sitting off to the side.
We always laugh because Ayla and I are 2 different people in the way that we consume like after content, right? Like we both go to concerts, but like, and we take videos and photos and whatever.
Yeah.
I never watch the photos and videos. I never go back. I never rewatch it. You do though. Like you go back and watch video, look at the photos.
Even with like this podcast, because I mean, let's be honest. What's happening here is when we interview these actors that we like, that we are fans of, it's basically just a long ass fan call.
Yeah.
And so I do go back and I'll look for like specific moments because here's the thing. When I talk to these people, especially if it's somebody that I'm like such a fan of, I kind of black out. Like I black out in that moment and I like don't really remember. And that's my brain's way of making it so I don't just like scream in their face.
Except you fully do, because
I did with Pentagon because
Ayla's husband was in the apartment, not in the room, in the apartment, and she got off the call.
He was like, "You just screamed 'I love you' at them over and over again," and I was like, "Well,
because you were like, I was totally cool. I spoke some Korean.
I did speak some Korean. That's actually true. And I've watched back the video, and it's really not that dramatic. I didn't just scream at them. I mean, I have watched my video back. I did, but they had just gotten their first win. This is not a Pentagon.
Yeah.
I needed them to know I was proud of them. The whole thing.
That's the whole point. Is that like I know that it's going to not be as good. Me watching it back, I want to remember just like the experience as it happens. So the Counter Turbo one, I was sitting here, Ayla was sitting to the back because she wasn't a part of the call.
I did not win the call.
No. And so of course, like I'm wearing my Let's Talk BL shirt. We had done the Tuk Tuks for Kauna, and y'all, those boys, they came on screen, and there's something so different, even though they're on a screen, there is something so different when you're actually interacting with them on like, especially because it's on your phone on like a video call. And so Turbo was like in my face. He was like he was at the forefront, and then Kauna was kind of behind him, and Turbo was like taking the lead and was speaking English because I was like, oh, I have a little bit of Thai. I can try to like say like hello.
Side note, she spoke no Thai. She spoke zero Thai.
I was like, because the second the phone call picked up, Turbo was like, hey, how are you? Like in full English.
Right, because they're told ahead of time. By the way, if you're nervous about this, is the same thing for K-pop. They're told ahead of when you register, you put your nationality. So they're told ahead of time, like you're speaking to an English-speaking person.
Yes. Yeah. And so Turbo like took the reins, right? Like and I talked about this to Ayla. I was like, in the interviews, like when we go into them, we like are like, hey guys,
we're kind of in control on some level because it's our show and we have to explain the logistics,
right? And
we're professionals.
Whereas for this, they totally took control, which I was like not expecting, and I was just like, I don't know what to say, and y'all, Turbo is just like the cutest little button.
No, it's true. She had like negative chill, you guys.
And then Kauna saw the logo on my shirt and was
I freaked out about this a little bit too.
I was like, we have a podcast. We'd love to have you on one day. And Kauna perks up at this point because Turbo had taken the lead, and Kauna perks up and is like, oh, tuk-tuks.
I heard him say the word tuk-tuks. So, okay, the story... I don't think we've ever told the story behind the Kauna tuk-tuks. So the Kauna tuk-tuks were the first tuk-tuks we did. I think people know us for the You're My Sky tuk-tuks, but the Kauna ones were actually the first ones we ever did. And they were a nightmare for me because I'm the designer, right? So Beth Ann tells me, she's like, hey, do you want to do a tuk-tuk for Kauna's birthday? And I was like, that sounds super fun and interesting. Like the tuk-tuks are a cool thing. Like
so cool.
I want to get in on that because that sounds fun. So I was like, sure. She's like, okay, cool. You have to design art and send it over, and they need it tomorrow.
Yeah. It was like quick turnaround.
9:00 at night. She's like, they need it tomorrow. And it's like 9 p.m. And I was like, okay, I was like, this is fine. So I'm like,
this is fine. It's all going to be fine.
Dayu. So I'm like, how at this point I'm like, okay, wait, I don't actually know how people find photos for tuk-tuk.
Right.
And so
had we done the You're My Sky ones?
You're My Sky was after this, right? Because we like I said, Kauna Turbo was the first one we
did.
Right. The Kauna ones were the first ones we did. You're My Sky came later. And so right, because You're My Sky flat out, we were like, yo, send us photos. And so I have photoshopped every single You're My Sky boy. They sent me raw photos, so I know their pores intimately.
We zoomed in a lot.
I know who wears no. Okay,
continue on.
So for Kauna, it's like 9 p.m. at night. They need the art the next day. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I can do this. Then I realized I don't know how I'm gonna get a photo that's high enough quality because I worked in the publishing industry for years and years. I actually have a master's degree in publishing. I understand how printing works on a very detailed level. And I was like, okay, I have to have a certain DPI of photo at this size.
Ayla's like, hey, I need this DPI. And I'm like, here's a cute photo of Kauna.
Right. And she's sending me all these pictures she wants to use. And I'm like, none of these are are a good enough DPI for when they blow it up. It's not pixelated. So with pictures, you can't add more pixels. So you can make it really big, but it's going to look crappy because it's going to be pixelated if you get past a certain DPI. That's basically what that means. And I'm like, okay, how do we? So that was the first thing I had to overcome. And then the second, and so then I have to actually design it. I have to make it creative, do a thing. Yeah. And so I do all of this. I've done the thing. I've designed something that I think that I'm excited about at that point that I think is cute.
They were awesome.
Because I spent hours designing this.
They were absolute perfection. As a Kauna fan, I appreciate your hard work and dedication.
And then the file did not save properly and got corrupted, and I had to redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was up until 5 a.m. working on these tuk-tuk ads.
The moral of the story is the ROI on Kauna has been pretty great, though.
And so that's why even I freaked out. I'm sitting across the room and I hear him say the word tuk-tuks, and he doesn't. I know that logically I understand that he doesn't know it was me, but I'm like, I did that. I'm like, that was all those hours that I put into that. He saw them and he liked it, right?
It registered in his brain enough for him to
and
a month or two later.
My branding 10 out of 10. as a marketing professional.
I mean, because
like,
he went and took photos with them. Like, he sat beside them. Like, he interacted with that content. Like, he liked the post on our feed. Like, he definitely engaged with it a lot. So,
but
count a
logically, even though I knew that he didn't know it was me, like, because I wasn't even on the video call with him, right? But like, when I heard him say the word tuk tuk, even at that point, like, you had negative chill, but even at that point, I started freaking out a little bit. Like, I got really excited.
So yeah, that for the live stream, and for that live stream ticket, I want to say it was like $12 to $15. Like, it was so inexpensive for the experience that I got,
and it was really cute.
Yeah.
And so that's one version of a video call that you'll get out of these. Another one is similar to that Max Tool Live that we talked about that we did, where it was entirely on Zoom, and it was sort of like random draw. You would get to be pulled on in the Zoom to ask them a question, to talk to them. You're in front of everyone. It's not like and you can do it on a computer. It's not a private call.
Well, and they had Max Tool had computer screens in front of them.
Well, no, they were TVs. It was television screens. They were huge.
Whereas a lot of times the Zoom, you're just like on a video wall behind the artist.
Right. This Max Tool, you were like talking to them. Yeah, like in their faces. So that's another way that you do these video calls. The Max Tool one was pretty cool. I think the downside of that type of fan call, we did not get chosen for that, but the downside for that type of like fan interaction is you are in front of an audience.
Yeah.
So you have to be like interacting with them and talking to them and understanding that like an audience is watching you, which, I mean, for us, we like, this is what we go through every time we interview someone. And it does change the experience a little bit because you put on this like professional hat, right? Like, you're less of a fan in that moment because you understand that like this isn't just for you to experience, it's for everyone watching to experience. And so
like for Omen and None, we couldn't just scream at them for 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
I mean, when Sia was on the podcast multiple times,
we kind of did scream at him
a little bit. But we tried to keep it cool. So I will say, the thing about the video calls when they're on the phone is it does feel more intimate. Like, it feels like you're FaceTiming with someone. For sure.
I didn't record the Count and Turbo one because, again, like I just wouldn't go back to it. But I so vividly remember like what they looked like and the setup that they had. But
you can screen record if you're that kind of person. So my Pentagon one, I have entirely a screen record.
It's a little bit of a difficult process because
you have to swipe down, tap screen record, and then it won't record your audio. So you have to record the audio on a separate device, but like it's not actually that hard.
A lot of people I see now are just recording their phone from a separate device, which is like the easiest to do because I would fumble.
Another pro, it is stressful because, again, speaking of, they are forewarned. So if you're nervous about like, oh my God, I don't speak the same language as them for these video calls, like, is this live stream video call worth it? They're told in advance, like, hey, this is an English speaking person. And in lots of cases, they're told your name because you register with your name. So like when I did mine with Pentagon, literally, I'm going to start crying. Hold on. Because he's not here right now. He's gone.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. He's serving in the military.
He's so close.
He's not gone.
He's so close. He comes back so soon. This is fine.
Done.
Everything's fine. So it popped up because they'll line you or cacao you depending on what platform they're doing it from, and they'll be like, "Hey, you're next." Right? They'll tell you, and it popped up, and he just yelled my name. And I almost didn't get my screen record started because I was just like, I wasn't expecting that. Right. And so, in a lot of cases, they're told your name, which is very cool too.
Yeah. My brain broke as soon as those boys got on my screen. I was like, I don't understand words speaking. Because they also initiated it. Like a lot of times during our interviews, they'll pop up on screen and like we have the control to like bring them on the screen. In. And so like we'll be like, oh, hello. Like it will initiate, but like they fully initiated. So video calls are one of the perks that you potentially could get.
Video calls, I would say for me, as someone that doesn't, that I'm not super into the live stream concert of it all.
Right.
That's the reason I buy these tickets. It's
Yeah.
not for anything else. It's not to watch the thing. It's, it's purely for the chance at the video call.
Especially for the price point of a chance to talk to these artists.
Right.
It's pretty.
So
it's
for
pretty
me,
awesome.
that's why I have a very limited number of like boys that I would do this for, because especially with there being so many back to back, like honestly, if you are a Kin Porsche Nunu Z Nunu stan, like I'm so sorry for your credit card bill, because like
For real.
even though the price point is low, when you add all three of those up, that's over $100.
Yeah.
Just for that.
I bought tickets to both the Xenu and the Nunu thing. So this is the other thing, is the Count of Turbo one did not have a replay that I remember, or maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
But we watched it
live. So even if you can't watch it live, usually you're given like 3 days
You
to
can
watch
go rewatch it. Yeah.
So the other perk that Nunu has added for his birthday, which I thought was interesting, he had 3 tiers for the online streaming, and you could pay one of 3 prices. The cheapest price was for a recorded video, like a video message.
A message, right.
So if you didn't want to pay the top dollar for the online streaming, you could pay a reduced price of just like a basic online streaming price. And then they had another tier that was a shorter video call, and then there was another tier that was a longer video call.
Right.
So technically, like, you're not, I mean, online video call through these streaming things, you're one of thousands for the most part.
Right.
And so your chances do get lower. But for this, because specifically for Nunu, there are 3 different options. So potentially you have a
higher chance, potentially. Yeah. Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And then there was like an e-card. For Max Tool, we got assigned
a little e-card thing.
Which is so cute.
Yeah, all of those sort of like digital prizes, I don't really care about. Like honestly, I don't even keep the like in-person merch I get. The only thing I kept from I'll keep a signed poster.
I keep everything.
I'll keep a poster if it's signed.
Yeah.
Because I frame them and I put them up as art.
Yeah.
And I'll keep like if you get like a tour lanyard.
Yeah.
So I kept all of my Pentagon tour lanyards.
Meanwhile, I literally keep everything. I was home over Christmas and I was texting Ayla like notes that I had written in like 3rd grade.
Yeah,
like I have everything.
If there's like a merch box situation that I'm getting, I don't keep any of that because I know I'm not going to use it, and that's not the kind of thing that's important to me out of this experience. Like it's not the physical stuff.
So stay tuned. There may be a concert that we're attending,
but it's not going to be a giveaway on the podcast. So
go to the Raikan FanCon.
Yes, if you're attending the Raikan FanCon in person, there's going to be a really cool giveaway. Yes, a very, very cool and exclusive giveaway.
Is there anything other perks that you can think of?
Not really with live streaming. So that's the thing, is like it is low. It's low in terms of the return on your investment, right? Because you're only entered to win a video call. All you get is to watch the concert, which is great. But the other thing that you get is to support this artist. Yes. So the more tickets they sell, the more likely it is they'll do these again, the more likely it is, right? Like all of these things. Yeah. So that is the other pro.
Right.
Is that you get to support your artist.
And it is a lot of times original content that they've put their
very
time
cute
and effort
fun,
into.
Yeah.
So it is nice. Like what you were saying with the BTS one where it was a song they hadn't sung.
Right. They had never performed before. Yeah.
And y'all, I have definitely watched that Z Nunu Stuck With You performance so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a original content that you'll get from these fan meetings that you won't necessarily get anywhere else. It's not just like watching stuff that's already existing on YouTube, which is kind of nice.
Again, it is just watching stuff. So for example, the Boyfriends concert, the first one was streamed. That happened before the Boyfriends concert happened before I was in the BL world, but there were so many boys involved in that I really liked, namely War. And so I have watched that stream. So the Boyfriends people put like clips from the stream on YouTube.
Right.
And so the D&D is what the company is called, the D&D. And I have watched those clips probably millions. There are fan cams, but I love a fan cam.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I am less into the live stream of it all if I know I'm going to get a fan cam, because I actually do love a fan cam. I think it's really fun. And, like, I think that is more a replica of the experience of being there.
Yeah, I will say I have watched probably more of the fan site videos of the performance than I have of the actual, like, uploaded from the live stream.
Right.
Of the
I love a fan cam. So who would be your top 3 that you absolutely, if you could only buy 3 live stream tickets, 3 boys, they can be couples, so technically, technically 6. Who would you put in your top 3 list? And the deal is, you're not allowed to purchase any other live stream tickets to anything
ever.
Amazing. You only have these 3 couples / boys,
and you
you
potentially could have a video call with them,
right? Or just, like, to see them perform and do their soul, whatever, like, their special content.
Yeah. Bilk and PP.
Okay.
All of their, y'all go watch that Japan live performance video. I've watched it multiple times now. It's incredible because they are, like, artists. Probably Zinunu, because I just love their content. Like, they're just fun to watch. They're enjoyable. And Nunu can sing. And then who would be a third? I don't know. Neo Louie. Just to see, because y'all.
But again, remember, like, you can see them performing and doing these clips from fan cams from whatever.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like the experience of a Neo Louie concert would be
poor Counter Turbo.
So
you've turned your back on them.
I know, but I've experienced them. It's fine.
Sad.
I know. What are your 3?
So, Yin War,
of course.
I will always take a chance on getting a video call with War, like, always. Like, and Yin. Actually, Yin is so cool and funny, and people discount Yin. Yin is just as amazing as War. I just was a War girl from, like, I knew War before I knew Yin War. Like, I didn't know Yin. I got introduced to War first, so like, first in my heart. So absolutely Yin War for so many reasons.
Right. I know it's a hard one.
I actually would say Counter Turbo, because they're so cute. They can sing, they can perform, and also, like, they're chill to talk to, right? If the point is, like, you might get a video call, like, they're cute to talk to.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
And then, so I'm trying to think of it from, like,
yeah, I thought of it from, like, a performance. Like, who do I want to sing and who do I want to see sing and dance? Because,
see, I thought of it more of, like, because I can see them sing and dance anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they do public performances. Right. So, like, I got access to all of them singing and dancing. It's more about who would you want to win the video call with.
Right.
And so, like, my loyalty obviously should be, like, someone in the cast of You're My Sky. Like, it should be Sia.
Or just the cast of You're My Sky.
Right.
Imagine if we got a whole performance. I mean, we did. We saw a cast performance of the Magic Five. There are 5 of them. We saw the Magic 5 at that appearance they did. They all sang together.
Well, no, they didn't all sing. Sia didn't sing that in that song. It was just Chris Porcher and Boom Jump, and Sia sang his own song because he's Sia, and of course he did. How dare!
Yes.
First of all, how dare you?
There were just so many of them.
But at the same time, yeah, like, do I want a video chat? Like, yes, I always want a video chat with Sia because he's, like, his little face. Yeah, this is difficult. You know what? Pavel Benz.
Ooh.
Because
go watch Coffee Melody.
So, first of all, honestly, those
Magic.
2 have outstanding chemistry, and they're so fun to talk to. And also, Benz can sing. Pavel is the king of a TikTok dance, so the performance would be entertaining.
True. If I ever talk to Pavel again, I will scream at him at how good Coffee Melody is. Pavel,
I've liked Pavel from the beginning. I don't know if we've told this story before. I think I've told it a few times. Had, like, a panic attack before we talked to Pavel that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
It just, like, hit me out of nowhere. No, Pavel and Benz, because they're really fun to talk to, and also they can perform, and so I know the performance would be really fun.
True. Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't talk to Bilk and PP because I would be like, PP, I'm so sorry you have to even like look at me, or like, I'm so sorry you have to comprehend my existence. You don't deserve this. You are too precious for this earth.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I kind of want Off Gun though.
I was literally just
because Off is so chaotic.
True. Even if you don't speak the same language, I feel like you could communicate.
I would feel bad making Gun comprehend my existence as well. But also Off is so chaotic that it might be worth it to put Gun through that. Yeah.
The one last downside to the online concerts, it's they're on Thailand time. So
if you do not live on Asia time.
Yes, which we do.
We live on both times. I'm tired all the time. I'm so tired. Someone help me.
However, like this weekend, so Z Nunu is on Saturday morning at 4 a.m. and Nunu is at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. I will not be attending the Z Nunu live, but I will be on Sunday because I can take a nap. So yeah, that is the only downside. The Counter Turbo one I think was at like 3 a.m.
Right.
But I won the phone call, so
yeah, and then like we did the Boom Jump Raikan fan experience, and that was I want to say like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Yeah. So early
/ late.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned. You can basically follow the boys to find out when they're going to do stuff. Twitter announces it. You can also follow the platform accounts. They all have Instagram and Twitter, and we'll keep those updated. And
we usually scream about them if it's a boy that we particularly love.
Yes. And you can look forward to the Raikan FanCon
because there is an online streaming option for the Raikan FanCon. If you can attend in person, we will of course be attending in person. You can see our happy face. You will be forced to comprehend our existence. You can see our happy faces. You can say hello to us. Please say hello to us. I will be lonely. Help me not feel so socially awkward. But if you cannot attend, which is understandable, you can purchase a streaming ticket.
Yes.
Or you can win a streaming ticket.
How would you win a streaming ticket?
All you have to do, it's so easy. We have we have already given away one streaming pass. We're going to be giving away 3 more streaming passes if Beth Ann ever does the thing she's supposed to do. So keep an eye on your inboxes if you entered the last one, because we decided we were going to give away just extra passes on that last one, even though someone already won. Yeah. 3 more people will be winning, so keep your eye on your DMs. Whoop. I'm literally going to watch her choose that because I picked the first one. So I was like, Beth Ann, you pick the next winners. And then she never did it. So I'm going to watch her do it after we're done with this. And today, with this episode, this Wednesday, July 20th, we are giving away 3 more passes.
My God, how's it July 20th?
It's July 20th. The Raikan FanCon is at the end of August, so we're coming up on it. All you have to do is follow us on all the things. Mm-hmm. Follow Raikan Tapani Philippines on all the things. And comment on this post or on the giveaway post on Instagram or on the giveaway post on Twitter. I don't care what you comment. You can be like, I think War's hair is bad. And I will be like, I disagree with you, but you'll still be entered into the giveaway. Yes. And you can do that as many times as you want.
Beautiful.
And that's how many entries you will get.
Maybe
you don't have to forward it to a friend. You don't have to tag anybody.
Maybe
just
tell us
do the things.
What?
Please don't comment a boy's name like letter by letter though. Like don't do that.
Do people still do that?
I think so.
I haven't seen that in a while. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot that happened.
But like, let's say you have thoughts about this episode and it would work out to like 5 sentences. Just write them in 5 separate comments. That's cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Go watch Coffee Melody. I'm obsessed with this show.
It's so good. And if we're lucky, we'll get a live stream fan meeting.
Yeah.
We have merch. Buy the merch because the end of season 2 is coming up. We've been saying this for a while, but like we're truthing about it. Like it's actually happening.
Yeah. We're truthing about it.
We are truthing about it.
Yeah.
Merch will be going away.
Yeah.
Never to be able to be bought again.
Y'all, we got the samples for the new merch. They look awesome.
They're really good. And I can't wait for you all to see.
Because you will see in the most special way.
We
Just
truly are trying to level up the merch. We don't really like make money on the merch. I mean, it's a joke, right? Like, it's for
I mean, we
fun.
leveled up the merch.
Yeah.
The other thing, we will not level.
The announcement, the viewing of the merch.
The display.
It sounds like a funeral. The viewing of the merch.
The displaying of the merch. The mannequins that we will have.
Anyways.
Too much?
New merch is coming. If there is merch that you like in the store, go buy it now because it might go away and you might not be able to buy it again. And then, like, wouldn't you be so sad?
Or save your money and buy much, much more merch season 3.
Or wait for the new merch coming out in season
It's
3.
awesome, y'all.
With a very special display.
Okay. This has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.